The American anthropologist Marvin Harris wrote a very influential book in the 1980s on meat taboos. My contention, he writes, is that there is absolutely nothing exceptional about pork as a source of human disease. All domestic animals are potentially hazardous to human health. That much, of course, is indisputably true, and may have been even more true in the ancient world, before we had vaccines for things like anthrax. Anthrax is a horrible bacterial infection that herd animals like cattle and sheep can pass to humans. There is no evidence at all that trichinosis was particularly pervasive in the ancient Middle East, and there's no evidence that ancient Middle Easterners even knew of its existence. In contrast, there is evidence that ancient people knew about anthrax. Anthrax may have been the fifth plague of Egypt discussed in the Book of Exodus here, and Homer may have been talking about anthrax in the Iliad. There's nothing like that for trichinosis, and Harris argues there's a reason for that. Meat parasites cause relatively mild illnesses in people. Most cases are asymptomatic, and the more serious problems can take years to unfold. It's not like a poison that kills you within hours of ingesting it. It would have been really hard for ancient people to make any link between meat and the parasitic diseases that it can sometimes cause. And of course, there's no particular evidence that trichinosis was bad in the Middle East. There's no particular evidence that trichinosis was any worse than any other parasitic disease caused by any other meat. It's simply the case that trichinosis was bad in 19th century Europe and America when this theory was hatched. This is a simple case, Harris argues, of modern people projecting their own experiences onto the lives of ancient people. One of the earliest written specific arguments as to why pork is bad comes from the Middle Ages, from Maimonides. Maimonides was a philosopher who bridged the Jewish and Islamic worlds. He was a Sephardic Jewish rabbi in service of an Islamic ruler, Salah ad-Din Yusuf, or Saladin as he's known here in the West.